Hi, I'm so glad you're back. It's The Better Man by S.A.K. I have an important message for you today. I dressed up. We're bringing up the level of sophistication today. Today I am going to be drinking some seltzer water because my stomach's not feeling the best, and I'm going to be putting it in this cup. It's actually probably 73, 74 years old because it was my dad's and he's 75, gonna be 76. I like to buy the seltzer waters and just flavor them with like lemon lime or like root beer flavor substitute because I used to drink a lot of soda. I'm trying to cut back. I wanted to talk about his instrument, and when I mean his instrument, I mean his writing device, his pen. I wasn't too aware of the significance or importance of a man's pen until someone who introduced me to Mont Blanc, and that's a fine pen line. They of course have other products, but they're known for their pens. I'm going for a more sophisticated look today, or at least attempting, right? Mont Blanc's been making pens for over 100 years. That's a long time. That's a quality product. I recently found out about these pens 6 years ago. In a way, owning a Mont Blanc pen is a sign of sophistication, achieving success in your life. That's what I wanted to talk about here. You might be thinking, why would it be important for me as a man to have a quality writing device? And I'm gonna explain why. Because I didn't know too much about these pens until I owned a few myself. I currently have two. I did have a tarot card reader let me know one of the pens was making Sir Winston sick, so I did have to throw it out. He stopped coughing. I'm not saying these pens are cursed. I don't think that's a great segue into telling you why a man should have a nice quality pen, but I'm gonna try and turn this around. It's actually over 100 degrees in Arizona right now, so I'm gonna get more comfortable. I'm really doing my best at trying to be sophisticated in this weather, but it's challenging. I'm using the pen and writing in the diary on formulating what exactly I want to tell you, because I realized this was a bit more of a challenging concept to explain. The magic pen is working, and I'm really coming up with some great ideas, and I'm ready to share. I'm taking a break from my series on was it worth his money and segueing into his instrument. And when I mean his instrument, I mean his writing device, the importance of his pen. I really didn't know the value of pens until when I met someone who enlightened me. He mentioned he always wanted a Mont Blanc because just a level of sophistication, as if, you know, they're making moves. It's not like he made it. Made what? It's not a pen that you can just throw away. These are timepieces.
Unless it's making your dog sick.
And the company's out of Germany. I've had 4 of these pens. One pen did crack. And what I do like about this company is they do free engravings on pens. I will say I tried to buy a pen in April and they declined my request. But the company reached me and let me know they weren't able to honor my order. And that was because there was a profanity in my request. They said, please let us know what else you would like to write. And here I thought they could possibly make an exception, and I let them know there wasn't anything else. I already had your pens. This is what I wanted. They let me know, we're canceling your order, we're refunding you, and we're not gonna go ahead and submit your request. I was impressed because I wasn't expecting for them to decline my order. I figured if the product was available, you purchased it, you would just get it. And this company said no to me. I've mentioned in previous videos, she wants you to say no to her when you're being your authentic self. If you can do something for her and it's not an issue, that's fine. A woman will respect you more if you do say no on occasion. Let me think of the last time a man said no to me. Kind of tricky. Let me think. Okay, I know. I wanted to go to a sushi restaurant the other night and this person had a work obligation. I wouldn't call it the end of the world that I was told I couldn't go out to sushi that night, because I just ordered in and always have a good time with my dogs. I'll go ahead and show you guys the pens. They all come in this box here. They're all the same boxes. I mean, I haven't purchased a pen over $500, so I don't know what those $1,000 pens come in. Potentially something a little nicer. In my opinion, the best way to store the pens would have to be hands down in this box. And I gave my dad a pen for his 75th birthday, and literally he just keeps it in this box on his desk. I'd like to believe if he had like a special contract to sign, he would take the box and go to the bank or notary or wherever loan officer's office and bring it. But he treats this pen like gold, and I love that about him. And like I said, they're timepieces, so whatever you write as far as an inscription goes, he's gonna cherish his 75th birthday. It's pretty common for people to get their name or like initials, first initial, middle initial, possibly your last name. There's a limit to the characters. I think it's like 9 or 10. So not everyone can just get their name on these pens. In my case, I have my nickname, Sonia Bear. The thing is, I went on a walk one day after driving my car and parking it, and it was very hot. It was last summer. I think this pen's a year old. And it was so hot, I got back in the car, I realized, oh no, I left the pen in my purse. And the inscription kind of rubbed off, and it made me kind of sad. I think I need to contact them to see if they can help me, but this pen should definitely not be left in the heat, which I ended up doing. So I'm gonna try and take a little bit better care of my new pen that I got this past week. I'm not gonna share the inscription because it's my new business idea that I'm gonna be debuting here shortly, so stay tuned. I'm a huge journaler. And when I journal, I like to journal with special pens. And I kind of consider these magic pens because they're handmade pens, not mass distributed, down to the inscription. When I'm creating, when I'm writing, I'm just thinking about all the efforts that went into putting together a pen like this. So as a woman, me personally, I carry this pen just loosely in my purse. I don't think that's the best advice. As far as men go, I mean, I know men have like pockets, like right here, if they're wearing like either scrubs or potentially a jacket. I know it can get hot. It may be more challenging for a man to walk around with this pen because one, it's heavy. You kind of have to baby it. Like I said in my last video, we don't necessarily want to buy things that are as high maintenance or higher maintenance than us. I would have to say this pen kind of is, but I will say when I use it and write with it, there's a level of sophistication. And you can't get that sophistication by using a Bic pen from like the Dollar Tree, which might I add, I have them and I love them, but there's a difference when I'm using this type of pen. I think it says a lot about a man if he has his own writing instrument that he brings, and it's nothing pretentious about this pen. For one, the pen, I would have to say it's beautiful. If you don't feel this is beautiful, we have different tastes. I picked the type where you just twist the cap. It's easier for me. I'd rather do that. It's faster than take on and off. That was my preference. This one's a little bit larger than the other pens. So this is a $500 pen. And you might think that's a lot of money, and it is. They do also have refillable ink. I personally like writing with blue ink. I'm not sure why, but it's my preference. You can purchase the refillable ink, and I've done that here. Royal blue, right? I'm not gonna pretend to be this classy, sophisticated woman all the time. I opened this product probably like a year ago, and I opened it like an animal. It looks like this. So it's a refill fine liner, and that's my preference, the fine liner, if you need some expert advice. I was just reading this book, Executive President. Oh, don't mind the dog bite here. I don't even know who did this. I would have to say a Mont Blanc pen does give you executive presence, because even if you are not the boss, the manager, the CEO, the chairman of the board, you're probably gonna feel like it when you're writing with this instrument. And purchased one of these, which you're probably thinking, she got a journal, you know, big deal. Actually, it's not a journal. They call it a diary. I'm now referring to any notebook that I write in for that purpose as a diary. You know, men, you can do that too, because that's what it says here. The leather goods are handcrafted from Florence. So they say sketchbooks, notebooks, and diaries. And I'm gonna stop using the word journal myself. Some of my deepest thoughts are entered into these books. I feel like diary is an elevated way to say journal. And you know, I know a lot of women do write in their diary, but I find it really attractive for men that write their thoughts. I know a lot of men that write, you know, as a hobby, side hustle, or like journal entries for their industry, which I think is fabulous. More times than not, they're typing on their computer. But when you're using a handheld instrument, I think there's a bit more of a personal touch. And especially when, you know, you have a companion notebook or diary that's been handcrafted in Florence. It's a dynamic duo. I have taken this diary to work, and then I realized it's way too fancy for where I work, and I felt like I disrespected it. Sometimes I feel that way about some of the shoes I wear there. Like I have to apologize to my nice shoes that I take to my work because I work in a warehouse district. It's not fancy. I don't even like walking from my car to the front door. It's actually a back door because it's a warehouse that does have carpet inside. It's not elevated. And I feel like this notebook slash diary and pen, they're just so elevated together. The question is it matching your environment? And if you're trying to elevate your environment, what better way to start on that path than to create? And a lot of creating is done in your notebook. And if men feel like they cannot connect with the idea of, you know, getting in their notebook and writing down some of their thoughts, I'm gonna go ahead and challenge you. One day this week, write. It doesn't have to necessarily be a pen like this, but if you do wanna get one, I approve. Write in a notebook some of your thoughts. What are your goals for the day? What are you hoping to achieve? What business strategy are you trying to work on? Are you wanting to create a new idea? What are some of your fears you're trying to get over? It doesn't necessarily have to do with work, but you could probably break through some of those challenges that you didn't even know existed. I've been working on that for the past 4 years, and I feel like I've transformed my life just with pen and paper. I mean, I've elevated my pens over the years. I feel like they've elevated me. I just want everyone to take a moment to realize, you know, what is your writing device? Is it chewed up? Is it almost out of ink? Is it something you enjoy writing with? Is it your favorite color? Does your pen have any significant meaning? Is it inscribed? Let's not be sloppy here. At the end of the day, you are creating when you're writing. Even when it comes to you and your place of work, if you're needing to write and you just have like a really old, busted up pen, I just feel like the thoughtfulness that goes on with writing with that type of device, it wouldn't be as elevated if you had a pen that you truly enjoyed. And I was at a notary today and I committed to myself. I said, I'm not gonna sign one more contract, one more important document, unless I have one of my lucky pens. I had it today. And when the gentleman asked me to sign the paperwork, sign his notary book, sign. Was I gonna use his plastic blue pen that everyone else was using? No, I wanted to use my own pen because that signature was pretty special to me. It was a result of 20 years of a real estate holding, and then further back, my dad's hard work, my grandparents' hard work, their parents' hard work. Do I want to disrespect my descendants by using a pen that I just wouldn't even remembered if I used it on such an important document? No, I don't want to have that regret. And I don't want you to have that regret either. I know this might sound kind of snobby. I'd rather be snobby than sloppy. And I hope that's you too. I'm just asking you to raise your standards when it comes to your pen device. I'm not saying go through every single drawer in your house and throw out every pen that's under $500, which obviously that's a bad idea, and I love the dollar store. I just went there on Friday. It makes you feel like a multimillionaire. But what I am saying is for you to identify a pen in your life, a pen, not a person, that makes you feel happy when you use it. And then I want you to create. I want you to create at least once this week and hopefully continue to create because it will change your life. This is the pen I used to use like 9 years ago. Pilot. 0.5. You're probably using a 0.7. A lot of people do. But if you're using a 0.7, I want you to keep your eye out for a 0.5 because it might change your life. So I'm just gonna do some quick acting before I let you go. So just imagine you're sitting at a restaurant and pretend I'm a man and the server comes over and wants to give you the bill. You're not at Olive Garden, Outback, Chili's, where you can pay there on the spot. Can you put your card in? No, there's none of that. We're doing the paper copy of the receipt. You know, you don't want to rush a woman. And that's one of my pet peeves, and it's probably a lot of women's pet peeves, so I'm just giving you that feedback now. One of the beautiful things about a nice fine dining restaurant is the gift of time. I don't feel like you're rushed. And you're definitely not rushed to pay the bill. Coffee liqueur. They would like you to continue to enjoy the environment, the ambiance. Say there's live music, a piano, a singer. But when it comes time for the server to go ahead and present the bill and pretend I'm a man, so this is the server pen. Oh, I'll take that, thank you. You don't have to be rude about their pen. You kindly put it to the side and then take out your other. And if you need to get your readers, get your readers. I've seen men have 2 different kinds of readers at dinner. Still don't know why. I haven't asked. Don't be ashamed. If you can't read the bill, get those readers out. Unless you want her to handle it, but like, why should that be her job when it's your privilege to pay and your privilege to write with your elevated writing device? The bill, and you know, it's easy. I appreciate you listening to the importance of his instrument. I hope you take the time to think about the writing instruments you use on a regular basis. Obviously, if you're working outside in the field, in the heat, all those things, you might not want to bring one of these pens around. But like I said, when it's time to sign a document, a receipt, for something that you cherish, a beautiful evening with a woman. Do you want to use the server's pen or do you want to elevate and have your own device? So men, you got to get those jackets out. You got to get the shirts with pockets. You have to adjust. When you make those micro adjustments, it'll be noticed. Please like, subscribe, share, comment below. Later.